as we think about wrapping up, but I always, I love having entrepreneurs because being an entrepreneur myself, and I, since we met now a couple months ago, I've done some digging around the internet, and I'm fascinated by all the many things you've done, whether it's a TED Talk, and as I say, you said you were an actor. What advice do you have for being a successful entrepreneur? And also, this is relevant, I think, to those paying attention, to those listening as investors. You need to look for individuals that have these skills when you're or have these traits when you're thinking about investing. Because I always say, people run companies. Companies don't run themselves. So you want to know if this is a company you want to be involved with or think about investing in. Then you should look at how the business is being run and which individuals are actually making those decisions. So I'm interested in your advice.
Well, first is just look to the science of learning. You can learn anything if you practice properly, and it could take a long time, but if you're patient and so always be open, but not only in yourself but your employees. When I teach a lesson, I say to the kids, if you don't get it, it's my fault.
Right.
Like I'm responsible for teaching you, and you have to have that idea with your employees too and your staff, that if they're not learning or doing something, you as a leader, you can make that happen. If you believe they have the potential, then what's probably happening is they're not being taught well, if they're not flourishing. Second, your strengths are also your weaknesses. I learned this over many years. If you're an entrepreneur, you're probably really good at forming partnerships, at wowing people, at getting people excited. But I wasted a lot of time just because I was good at that. I'd form partnerships that went nowhere, just because it's really nice to exercise your talents. So now I'm being much more rigorous in focusing on things that are really high impact, and also focusing on things that are drop-in almost. Like we're trying to just perfect jump now, so that any teacher, even if even if they're math phobic, could produce the kind of results I showed you. That's all our efforts now are going into just making jump very, very easy to use for teachers, and getting data. Just try and rather than I focus so much in the early years on growth, and we grew and we helped a lot of kids, but I think I would have helped even more kids. We're realizing now, if we just perfected the program, made it scalable, and then did studies to show beyond a shadow of a doubt. So we've done two randomized controlled trials now, which is really unusual in education, and those are starting to open doors for us.